What if a single question could make a woman intrigued, turned on, and completely hooked on you? That's an advantage you could have, because most men talk, but few make an impact. Attraction is primal. It happens before logic, before thought. And if your words don't trigger that response, she won't feel a thing. This video gives you 8 uncommon questions that bypass her defenses and speak directly to her instincts, not to impress her, but to destabilize her patterns, awaken desire, and shift the power in your favor. They're not about charm. They're about control, through language. And behind them, the philosophy of Machiavelli, a man who didn't teach seduction, but understood how human nature works. Let's begin. 1. Do you usually let go or try to stay in control? This question is quiet, but lethal. It forces her to choose a side, without saying the word, submit. You're not being aggressive. You're not challenging her. You're inviting her to reveal herself. Because every woman has that duality, a part of her that wants to lead, and a deeper part that craves to be led. This question slices into that polarity. It whispers to the part of her that secretly wants to be taken. It stirs the part of her that wants to be relieved from always being strong. It doesn't say, "Do you obey?" That would make her defensive. It says, "Can you let go?" And whether she admits it or resists it, her body is already responding. Because in truth, when a woman is in front of a man who radiates presence, control, calm intensity, she wants to collapse into him. She wants to soften. She wants to stop leading. She wants to feel her feminine energy pour out without guilt or shame. Machiavelli would tell you, most will not admit what they crave, but their actions reveal their allegiance. Here's your strategic move. Don't react to her answer. Don't joke. Don't explain. Just observe. Her words are one thing. Her body language is everything. If she gets defensive, she's not ready. If she relaxes, even for a second, she's yours to lead. 2. What type of man makes you quiet without asking you to be? This one works before she even knows why, because you're not asking what she likes. You're asking what silences her body. What kind of man makes her voice lower, her thoughts slow down, her entire nervous system surrender, without force, without demand. She has to search for that memory. And if she can't find one, she starts imagining one. You. This is not about dominance. It's about gravity. It's about becoming the kind of man whose calm is so complete, she softens on instinct. You're not trying to win her approval. You're inviting her to reflect on the rare men who didn't chase her, because they didn't need to. Men whose stillness made her heart race. Men whose presence made her want to listen. Not because he asked her to, but because her entire body told her to. Machiavelli would say, command is most effective when the subject believes it was her own idea. Here's your next solution. Hold that frame. Ask the question slowly. Lock eyes. Then go quiet. Because what happens in the silence will tell you more than any of her words. If she laughs nervously, she's intrigued. If she hesitates, she's remembering. If she answers, you're already past her surface. You've started speaking to the part of her no one else has touched. Let's move to the next question. 3. What's the part of yourself you hide from people, especially men? This question doesn't ask for attraction. It asks for exposure. Every woman has a version of herself she shows to the world. The curated one, the filtered one, the one that smiles, controls, and gets what she wants. But behind that version, there's another self, a quieter self, a bruised self, a wilder self, and she doesn't let most people near it, especially men. Because men either judge it, try to fix it, or fall too quickly for it. But when you ask her this question, you bypass her surface identity. You challenge her secrecy. You invite her to let go, not of her clothes, but of her mask. The beauty of this question is in its architecture. The first half disarms her. What's the part of yourself you hide from people? That alone would make anyone think. But the second part turns the knife, especially men. Now she has to examine why she hides. What part of her is she afraid men won't handle? What does she feel she must protect or weaponize? Machiavelli once said, "The mask is more revealing than the face, for what one hides is often what rules him." Here's how to apply this. Stay neutral. Stay calm. Stay silent after you ask. Let her go as far as she's willing. She might deflect. That's fine. She might give a half-truth. Let her. Because even the way she avoids this question tells you who she is. And if she answers fully, she's no longer flirting. She's surrendering. Not her body, but her truth. 4. When do you feel most powerful? And when do you feel most feminine? This question splits her identity down the middle, with precision. You're not asking what she wants. You're asking when she becomes. Because every woman operates between two poles, control and softness, assertion and surrender, power and pleasure. Some women are trapped in survival, always performing, always proving, always pushing forward. Others, the rare ones, have learned when to let go. This question reveals whether she still defines herself by masculine metrics, success, achievement, toughness, or whether she's in touch with the side of her that receives, feels, melts, admires, follows. And here's the truth. No matter what she says she wants, her deepest craving will be revealed here. You're not trying to seduce her. You're diagnosing her. You're learning if her energy is capable of polarity or if she'll fight you for control in every dynamic. Machiavelli would say, if you want to rule well, first study what rules them. Your next move, ask, then observe. If she says she feels most feminine when she's safe, led, seen without trying, you're already halfway in. If she avoids the feminine side, she's either untrusting, unready, or untested. Either way, you now have clarity. 5. What do you fantasize about that you've never told anyone out loud? This one is sacred. Ask it only once trust is built, because it doesn't seek desire. It seeks truth, behind her most private shame. Every woman fantasizes. Every woman dreams. But most never speak it, because they're afraid of being judged, afraid of being called too much, too dirty, too dark, or too submissive. But when a man, calm, grounded, intentional, looks her in the eye and asks this with no fear, no judgment, no agenda, she feels something rare: permission. She realizes you don't just want her curated performance, you want the part of her she hides from the entire world. This is where her guard dies. This is where the wild comes out. This is where the loyalty begins, not because you impressed her, but because you held her. And if she answers, you're no longer just a man in front of her. You're inside her nervous system. You've entered her psyche, and very few ever make it there. Machiavelli would have smiled and said, when a subject volunteers her secret, she offers not words, but allegiance. Your next move, ask only once the space is ripe. The lighting is soft. The moment is slow. Her voice is low. And never push, never interrupt, never react. Just hold the silence. Let her explore it. Let her give you what she's never dared show another man. Because if she does, you won't need to escalate. She'll escalate herself. 6. Do you usually get what you want from men? or do they surprise you? This question doesn't flatter her. It studies her. Because most women, beautiful women especially, are used to men who adapt, who please, who follow the script, men who make her life easier, but never truly move her. This question forces her to reflect on her patterns. Has she been leading every dance? Has she been scripting every outcome? Or has she ever met a man who rewrote the entire dynamic? You're not asking what she wants. You're asking what she expects, and whether she's ever been strategically disoriented. Because if every man before you was predictable, you've already won the moment you speak with edge. And if she's been surprised before, you'll hear it in her voice, the memory, the spark, the ache to feel it again. Machiavelli would say, when a ruler is too easy to anticipate, he is no longer a ruler. Here's your next move. Ask with calm. Observe her response. If she tries to act like men never surprise her, challenge the frame with a smirk. Let her feel that you're not just another one of them. You're the unknown. Because when a woman can't predict you, she can't stop thinking about you. 7. What's the most unexpected thing a man ever did that secretly turned you on? This question doesn't live in her mind. It lives in her nervous system. Because real arousal isn't created by what's obvious. It comes from surprise, from contradiction, from moments she couldn't prepare for. You're not asking what she likes. You're asking what she remembers, in her breath, her skin, her pupils. Maybe it was something small, a man whispering in her ear in public without warning, or the way he grabbed her waist, not rough, but with certainty. Or the one time he made her wait, when she expected him to chase. Whatever it is, it wasn't planned, it wasn't performed, it wasn't polite. It was felt. That's the space you want to enter, where logic breaks and chemistry takes over. Machiavelli might have put it like this: the most powerful moves are those a subject never sees, but feels in the marrow. So here's how to use this. Ask it slowly. Let her take her time. Don't interrupt her memory. Don't rescue her if she hesitates. And if she doesn't answer, she's already thinking about it. And if she does, you're now part of that memory. And everything you do after this moment will carry the weight of that association, if you play it right. Now let's finish with the 8th and final question, the one that exposes her deepest fear and her deepest longing. 8. If a man truly had you, fully, what part of you would try to run? This is not a question, it's a mirror. Because every woman dreams of surrender until she feels it. And then, the panic kicks in. What if he sees too much? What if he takes too much? What if she loses herself? This question guides her into that inner war between craving closeness and fearing her own vulnerability. It says, I won't chase you. I won't seduce the surface. I'll reach the place inside you that you've spent years hiding. And if she can name that part, the part that still wants to bolt when it gets too real, she's no longer holding the mask. She's holding a truth. Machiavelli would say, the greatest loyalty is born not from comfort, but from the terror of being seen and still accepted. Here's how to make it count. Ask it after silence, after touch, after intimacy has started breathing in the room. And when she answers, or hesitates, hold that space with masculine stillness. No jokes, no rescues. No, it's okay. Just presence. Because in that moment, you're not just talking, you're confronting her subconscious. And once she meets a man who can stand there, still, unfazed, unwavering, she doesn't forget him. Because no one else ever dared go that deep. And now that you've asked the questions no man ever dared to ask, let's close this with the final shift. becoming the man who doesn't chase her mind, because he already lives inside it. This is where everything converges. Not just words, not just questions, but the man you chose to become while asking them. Most men fear this depth. They hide behind charm, behind performance, behind the safe version of themselves. They never dare to enter the silence, the tension, the space where real connection begins. But you did. You led the conversation where most men avoid going. Not to manipulate her, but to meet her where her mask falls off. Not to impress her, but to show her something stronger than approval. Presence. You didn't ask her to open up. You simply stood still long enough for her to want to. You didn't chase her attention. You made her curiosity chase you. That's not seduction. That's alignment. Between masculine command and feminine surrender. And now, something shifted. You're not just another man in the room. You're the moment she can't forget. The pause that echoes in her body. The mirror she didn't know she needed. So from here on out, speak like your words shape gravity. Move like your silence teaches more than noise ever could. Live like your presence rewrites the rules. Because you're no longer trying to be remembered. You've become the reason she rethinks what she truly wants. Not a performer, not a player, but a presence she instinctively trusts and quietly fears losing. That's not charm, that's power, and that's where your legacy begins. If this opened your eyes and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.